this effect only uses 3 cards, and in this case, I have the Ace of Clubs, the Jack of Hearts, and the Seven of Diamonds. So I would explain to the spectator that I'm going to turn around and I would like for them to choose one of these cards. Let's say the Seven of Diamonds. They would turn it upside down, and then with the other 2 cards, they would just switch the places of those. And then when I turn around, I would try to guess which card they turned upside down. Now, because I don't have a spectator here, it's gonna be a little weird, but I'm gonna try to do the best I can here. So let's say I turn my head, and my head is really turned. And let's say we take this card, I don't know which one it is, and we turn that, I hope that's upside down. And then we can take the other 2 here, and we can switch the places of those. So now when I turn back around, just by looking at these 3 cards, I would know that the card the spectator thought of and turned around is the Jack of Hearts. I hope that is the card. If you would like to learn how to do this, make sure to stick around for the tutorial. So this is actually an effect, another effect I actually put together, and I can't find this anywhere else. But if you know if this trick is already out there, please let me know down in the description so I can give the proper credit, the proper source, everything like that. But this is an easy mind reading effect. So in this case, what I did was I took out 3 cards, and you don't have to use the 3 cards I took out. But I'm going to show you here with a regular deck how this actually works here. So in this case, we have the Seven of Diamonds, the Jack of Hearts, and the Ace of Clubs. And there's a certain reason I chose these 3 cards. So for the Jack of Hearts, I just chose a face card because it doesn't matter how many times you turn it, it's gonna be the same way, okay? So if you do it this way, there's still a Jack upside down. If you do it this way, there's still a Jack upside down. Now for the Seven of Diamonds, keep in mind though, it can really be any card but has to have something with it. So you're gonna want a card that has a certain number of pips on it, okay? So for the 7, we notice that if I hold it like this, there are 5 pips pointing up, 2 pips pointing down. If you reverse it, now there are 2 pips pointing up and 5 pips pointing down. So you're going to be able to tell if it's turned or not, dependent on the pips. And the same thing with the Ace of Clubs. You're going to notice there are 3, I'm going to call them like, I don't know what these are called, but there's 3 little, we'll go with clubs for now, going up, and then the stem going down. And then when you reverse it, the stem is pointing up, and these 3 clubs we'll go with are pointing down. And keep in mind, you can do any court card. You don't even have to do a court card. But I think actually the courts is the easiest outcome because if they turn the jack upside down and then they reverse the position of the other 2, these are still pointing up, meaning the jack was their selection. Excuse me, and there's other cards you can use as well. Excuse me. So there are other cards you can use as well. For example, the 9 of clubs, the 3 of hearts, the 8 of clubs, the 7 of hearts, 3 of clubs, 6 of spades, 9 of spades, 5 of spades, 9 of hearts, ace of hearts, 7 of spades, 5 of hearts, 8 of spades, 8 of hearts, 7 of clubs, 6 of clubs, 3 of spades, ace of spades, okay, 5 of clubs, and 6 of hearts. So those are all cards you could substitute for the ace of clubs and the 7 of diamonds. And then I added one court, and any court can work. And you don't even have to add a court, but you're going to want to keep in mind though, for example, if we have the 9 of clubs here, along with these other two cards, you're going to tell them to turn one upside down and reverse the position of the other two. You're going to want to make sure that they turn it upside down right, because if for some reason you lay the cards down with the 2 pips pointing up and without noticing that the 1 pip is already pointing down, then when they turn it around and the other two are turned around, you might be able to know it's the 9 if you remember the position of these two cards, but you could also be wrong. So that's why I suggest having a court card, because it doesn't matter how they turn this jack and then reverse these other two. So I'm going to put these away and I'm going to finally go over all of the outs, you could call it. And I have only performed this one time actually. So let's go ahead and go over how you're going to do this. So you're going to have your 3 cards, and I like to have the court card in the middle, but it doesn't have to be. And something I like to do is just remember the position of these cards. So ace, jack, 7. You don't have to, I just like to. So therefore, when you lay these down, it doesn't matter with the jack, okay? But for consistency, I like to make sure they're all laid down right. You're going to have the 3 clubs here pointing up and the stem pointing down. Or in this case, I'm going to have water pointing up. And then you're going to have your jack, and then you're going to have your 7 right here. So you're going to explain to them that you're going to turn around, they're going to choose one card, turn it upside down, and then with the other two, switch the position. So let's go over all 3 of the, I guess, outs here. So if they choose the ace of clubs, they're going to turn that upside down and switch the position of the other two. When you turn around, the first thing that hits me anyway is that the jack and the 7 are out of order. So I know, okay, they didn't choose the jack or the 7. And another way I know that is because I count to see how many pips are on top of the 7. If there are 5 pips pointing up, I know they didn't choose the 7. If there are 2 pips pointing up and 5 pips pointing down, I'm going to say okay. And I'm going to think maybe the 7, but then I'm going to hop over to the ace. If you have the 3 clubs pointing up and the stem pointing down, well then you know that they didn't choose the ace, but they chose the 7. But if the stem is pointing up, the 3 clubs are pointing down, and these are reversed, you know they chose the ace of clubs. So that is the first outcome. It's really easy. It's just based on the pips here. So once again, if the 3 pips are pointing down and the stem is pointing up, and the 7 and jack are out of place, you know they chose the ace. If, for example, okay, they turn around the jack and then they switch the other two, when you turn around, you're gonna notice immediately that these are switched, but you're going to count to see if 5 pips for the 7 are in the air, and for the ace, if the 3 clubs are pointing up. So then therefore you know the jack, because if these remain the same, when switching them, obviously the jack is going to be the same either way. And that's probably the easiest outcome. And the last one, which actually happened the first time I performed this, was the 7. They turned that upside down and they switched the position of the other two. I turn around, and if I can remember what card is in the middle, in this case the jack, then I think I can actually do this pretty easily. I know the jack is in the middle, and then in this case they're switched, so I know they didn't choose the jack because the jack is over here, the ace is over here in place of the jack, but then the 3 clubs are in the air, meaning they chose the 7 because the 5 pips are down and the 2 pips are up. And that is the effect. So that is the tutorial for this effect. I hope you really enjoyed this. Let me know if you have seen this effect out there, and I will make sure to update the description. And really quick, in case you're wondering about the cards I'm using, because I forgot to mention this, these are the Solokid Leo, or the Solakid. I'm not too sure how to say it, but these are the Leo playing cards. I have a deck review on these, so I will link that in the description. If you are new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know how you like this effect. Is this already out in the world? And if this isn't, will this fool people? And if it is already out there, does it fool people if you know? That's it from me, and I will see you next time. Bye.